Paris, a city of light, revolution, and relentless reinvention. For over 2,000 years, it has been conquered, burned, and torn apart, only to rise again, each time shaping the world with its ideas. Using AI to breathe life into history, this is the story of the City of Light, in under 10 minutes. It begins around 250 BC, not on grand boulevards, but on a humble island in the Seine. A Celtic tribe called the Parisii, boat people and traders, build a simple settlement. Then, in 52 BC, the Romans arrive. They conquer, they burn, but they also rebuild, creating a proper Roman town they call Lutetia. For 300 years, it's a peaceful outpost, but as the Roman Empire crumbles, the town retreats back to the safety of its island, awaiting a new identity. In the 5th century, as Attila the Hun threatens to destroy them, a young woman named Genevieve convinces the panicked citizens to pray rather than flee. The Huns pass them by. Genevieve becomes the city's patron saint, and the town, now called Paris, survives. By 508 AD, it becomes the capital of the Frankish king Clovis. Paris is born, but survival is never guaranteed. For centuries, the city fights to exist. Vikings raid, laying siege in the 9th century. The city holds, but just barely. Then comes a leap of faith. In 1163, construction begins on Notre-Dame, a masterpiece of Gothic ambition. At the same time, scholars flock to the left bank, forming one of Europe's first universities. The Latin Quarter becomes the mind of Europe. Paris is no longer just surviving, it's becoming an intellectual and spiritual capital. But the 14th century brings the Black Death, wiping out nearly half the city. The 100 Years' War follows, and in 1420, Paris falls to the English. It takes a teenage peasant girl, Joan of Arc, to reignite the French spirit. Though she never liberates the city, her heroism shifts the war's momentum. Paris is French once more by 1436, but it is scarred and exhausted. The Renaissance brings beauty, but also blood. In 1572, religious tensions explode into the St. Bartholomew's Day massacre. As Catholic mobs hunt down Protestant Huguenots in the streets, thousands die. Paris is a city at war with itself. It heals slowly under Henry IV, who famously declares, "Paris is well worth a mass." The 17th century is the age of absolutism. The Sun King, Louis XIV, turns France into the center of European power, but he abandons Paris for Versailles. While the court plays, the city festers. Philosophers like Voltaire fill the cafes with dangerous ideas of liberty, while the poor starve in streets overflowing with filth. The tension is a powder keg.
In 1789, it ignites. The French Revolution begins with the storming of the Bastille. The monarchy is abolished. The king and queen are guillotined. Then, the revolution devours itself in the reign of terror. Paris runs red until the revolution's own leader, Robespierre, is executed. The city is drunk on blood and freedom. From the chaos rises Napoleon. He crowns himself emperor and makes Paris the capital of a vast empire. He builds the Arc de Triomphe, fills the Louvre with plundered treasure, and codifies French law. But his empire crumbles, and by 1814, Paris is occupied by foreign enemies for the first time in 400 years. The 19th century is a political roller coaster. Revolution in 1830, another in 1848. Parisians are addicted to uprising, using barricades to fight for a new republic. Then a new emperor, Napoleon III, gives Paris the face we know today. He commissions Baron Haussmann to tear down the medieval city and build wide, elegant boulevards. It's beautiful, but it's also designed to prevent revolutionaries from building barricades. It doesn't work. After a disastrous war with Prussia and a brutal siege, Parisians rise again, establishing the revolutionary Paris Commune of 1871. It is crushed in a single bloody week, leaving the city traumatized. But from the ashes comes the Belle Epoque, a golden age. The Eiffel Tower pierces the sky, the metro opens, and artists like Monet and Renoir turn Paris into the world's capital of culture. The Great War in 1914 nearly breaks France, but Paris survives, and in the 1920s it explodes with joy. The lost generation, Hemingway, Fitzgerald, Picasso, flocks here. Paris is a party. But the party ends in 1940. The Nazis march in. For 4 years, the swastika flies over the city. Parisians endure occupation, deportation, and terror, but they also resist. In August 1944, they rise up again. building barricades, fighting street by street until the city is liberated. Post-war, Paris rebuilds and modernizes, but the spirit of rebellion lives on. In May 1968, students and workers bring the city to a standstill, demanding change and challenging traditional authority. It's a cultural revolution that echoes for decades. The modern era brings grand projects, the Louvre Pyramid, a new national library. It also brings new challenges, suburban riots, and the terror attacks of 2015 that shook the city to its core. In 2019, the world watched in horror as Notre-Dame burned. It felt like the heart of Paris was on fire. But just as it has for 2 millennia, the city promised to rebuild. From a Celtic hut to a global icon, Paris has been conquered, occupied, and scarred by its own people. It is a city of profound darkness and dazzling light. But through it all, it endures, it reinvents, it fights. And that is why after 2,000 years, Paris will always be the city of light.